Would have been January of 2014, chasing the nomination, signing people up. It's January, it's -20, I've got people on the doors with me, we knock on this one door, and this guy comes to the door. What do you want? Big fiery red hair. So I want to sell you membership. Which party? The Liberals. Get in here, it's cold. So we're doing the paperwork and he's got to go find some money. We will go into the kitchen and his little boy's there, Ben. He introduces himself and kind of giggles and then leaves. And we're finishing up the paperwork, his dad, Chris. And then before we leave the kitchen, Ben comes in and he says, "Here, mister, this is for you." And he hands me a loonie. And I looked at him and I said, "Ben, are you sure you don't want to keep that and invest it?" He goes, "Oh no, I have an investment piggy bank. This is from my helping other people jar. You're out here in the cold and doing good things for people and I want to help you." And I was like, "Oh wow." And I looked at him and I said, "Ben, you're now the youngest donor to the Randy Boissonnault campaign and I will keep this loonie and I will keep working hard to represent you in Ottawa."
If I used one word to describe myself, it would be Canadian.
Passionné.
Driven. Methodical.
Energetic.
Lucky.
Good comes to mind, pardon the pun on the word, but passionate.
Liberal. Since I was a little kid, I always made the connection between getting involved and being able to help. I used to subscribe to Hansard. I just always wanted to be part of that. So I've gravitated always around politics.
C'est en militant comme jeune dans une association de comté dans ma région à moi, le Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean. C'est comme ça que j'ai commencé la politique. J'ai attrapé la piqûre de la politique.
I had a group of friends that were in my house one day, and my son was there, and he was chatting, and he said, "I'm encouraging Mom to get into politics." I think he had it planned.
Je pense qu'il y a beaucoup de bons et de bien qui peut être fait en politique, j'y crois sincèrement. J'ai toujours eu l'impression que c'est en politique que j'avais le plus à offrir. Même si je suis avocat de carrière, j'ai l'impression qu'en politique, on peut se pencher sur des enjeux qui sont vraiment importants pour la société et qu'on peut aider le sort de nos confrères, de nos consoeurs.
I'm the first person in my family to actually run for public office ever, and so it took a little bit of time for the idea to digest. And it was a ride. It was a very interesting ride. There was never a dull moment.
One of the ways that we attracted some really wonderful female candidates in particular, which was through the Ask Her to Run campaign, which is a unique movement to encourage women to run and to seek nominations.
There wasn't one path that everybody followed. A lot of people just stepped up out of the blue, but a lot of people, we went out and sought the best.
It took years of pulling together candidates from across the country, many conversations, cajoling a few great people to join the team and say, "You know what, I know that you have a fantastic career doing other things and doing fabulous, important things in the world, but this is really important too and we want you to join."
To take that plunge and to do so when you're in the third party, that's asking a lot of people. There was an excitement that was building around this movement, and so from coast to coast to coast, we got exceptional people to stand up, diverse people, a lot of different backgrounds. That was exciting to watch over sort of a 2-year period.
I made the decision to run 2 years before the election, and then from there the journey started. I had to recruit many volunteers that helped us along the way.
I campaigned in a motorhome. That's the way to cover that size of turf. So I'd take my dogs and some of the campaign workers, and I lived in a motorhome 5 days of the week. We had volunteers all throughout the district, so when I went into a community, we usually had people there. Most of them I knew, but we were able to grow on that.
Really a young, energetic group from high school and university and colleges nearby. They really energized the office, full of ideas, challenging the status quo, very passionate about the issues, made me do a lot of door knocking, so I lost a lot of weight during the campaign.
Volunteers contributed in so many ways in every single riding across this country.
We depended entirely on volunteers. The team of people here in Ottawa, the team of volunteers all across the country, never lost focus, worked 24/7.
They were fabulous, and I represent a riding, just a stone's throw away from Parliament Hill. So I have some of the best campaigners in the country, I think.
My team, I would say, was the best team across the nation. We had people from all walks of life.
My team around me in the campaign was, for me, an absolute blessing.
Our volunteer team, they sweated bullets. They worked tirelessly. They bled. Some of them, slept at the campaign office overnight. It was a remarkable team that did not stop until 7:25 p.m. on election day. Got people to the polls, with 3, 4, 5 minutes to spare.
Best campaign teams were fun. They spoke, they talked, they were communicating with each other. I knew when I walked into a campaign office and I didn't understand what they were saying because everything was an inside joke, that this was a good campaign.
I really think that young people who are considering to be in politics someday, because I was one of those young people, looking at the TV screen and saying, hey, that green chamber, maybe I could be there someday, is to live your lives, be constructive, add to your community, however you define that. Just keep being involved, and then when the timing feels right, at that point you got to make the decision and not look back.
Il faut pas attendre qu'on nous déroule le tapis rouge puis qu'on nous dise bon, mais allez-y, la place est vôtre. Il faut s'imposer puis montrer qu'on le fait avec sérieux, avec crédibilité, puis avec aussi notre façon de voir le monde, puis ça, faut en être fier.
You have to be committed and dedicated, and I think above all else, passionate about public life because it is demanding.
There's going to be a few bumps, there's going to be some setbacks, that's the name of the game. You're going to have challenges, you're not going to necessarily get the desired outcomes, but that persistency, that passion, and that hard work is critical.
Any job in politics is not an easy job, but it's a really fun job.
Il faut y aller pour les convictions de ses idées. Et puis il faut toujours garder cette ligne-là, toujours. Et puis c'est comme ça qu'on garde le succès en politique. Puis la politique va amener beaucoup de bonnes choses au niveau. C'est extraordinaire de pouvoir de sentir qu'on fait partie des changements. C'est quelque chose d'extrêmement gratifiant.
There's challenges in everything you do. There's challenges in walking here today, right? And you deal with life. What's in front of you. I was brought up when a challenge is put in front of you, you either go around it, over it, or under it.